Alrighty, so India is currently on track to become the world's third largest economy by the year 2027, surpassing Japan and Germany, and have the third largest stock market by 2030, thanks to some very key investments the country has made in technology and energy. So, with an average annual growth rate of 5.5% in the past decade, India's economy is already one of the fastest growing in the world. Global offshoring, digitalization, and energy transition are of the three biggest trends that are currently paving the way for the nation of more than 1 billion people to see some unheard of economic growth. According to Morgan Stanley's chief equity strategist for India, India is gaining power in the world order, and in their opinion, these unorthodox changes imply a once in a generation shift and an opportunity for investors and companies. India's GDP could more than double from $3.5 trillion to surpass $7.5 trillion by 2031. In a new research paper by Morgan Stanley, analysts looked at how this new era of economic development could bring about some significant changes, boosting India's share of global manufacturing, expanding credit availability, creating new businesses, improving quality of life, and sparking a boom in consumer spending. According to the paper, India will be one of only three economies in the world that can generate more than $400 billion annual economic output growth from 2023 onwards, and this can rise to more than $500 billion after 2028. Since the early days of the internet, businesses all over the world have outsourced to India services like software development, customer service, and business process outsourcing. The notion of India serving as the world's back office is currently gaining new momentum as a result of tighter global labor markets and the emergence of remote work models. As corporate tax cuts, investment incentives, and infrastructure spending encourage capital investments in manufacturing, India is also in a prime position to become the world's factory. India's share of manufacturing is expected to increase to 21% of GDP by the year 2031. With the introduction of National Identification Program called Aadhaar more than 10 years ago, India started laying the foundation for a more digital economy. Among other advantages, the system generates biometric IDs to prove residency and plays a major role in digitizing financial transactions. This project is a feature of IndiaStack, which is a decentralized public utility that provides an affordable, all-inclusive digital identification, payment, and data management system. IndiaStack is likely to lead to a massive change in how India spends, borrows, and access healthcare. IndiaStack has many uses, including a network for cutting credit costs, increasing loan availability, and making them more cost-effective for both the consumer and businesses. Economic growth depends largely on the availability of credit, and India is one of the most under-leveraged countries in the world. Additionally, India has a very young population with a median age of 27, and consumers in India might have more money available. The income distribution in India may very well change over the next decade, and as a result, the country's overall consumption may more than double from $2 trillion in 2022 to $4.9 trillion by the end of this decade. Energy is also essential for economic growth since it affects things like productivity, communication, trade, and quality of life. Due to recent improvements in all of India's 600,000 plus villages, they now have access to electricity. Over the following decade, This could significantly boost India's daily energy usage. Even though India will need to use fossil fuels to meet its rising energy demands, it is predicted that renewable energy sources like hydrogen, wind, solar, and hydroelectric power will provide 2/3 of India's new energy needs. This should lessen India's dependency on imported energy and enhance living conditions in a country that is home to 14 of 20 of the most polluted cities in the world. It also increases the demand for electric solutions like electric cars, bikes, and hydrogen-powered trucks and buses. According to an analyst for India Utilities and Industrials, the rise in India's energy consumption paired with the energy transition opens up a new area to enhance investment growth. The analysts think that the increase in investments will help start a positive investment cycle that will lead to more jobs and income, more savings, and so on and so forth. But yeah, in short, those are pretty much some of the reasons why India is in a very prime position to become a top global economy or superpower, whatever you want to call it. And on top of that, they are a part of the BRICS organization, which, if you didn't know, is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They're kind of like allying and becoming a major superpower in the world. And any nation that is involved in BRICS usually has very positive growth in almost every single avenue. So this could be very good for India. They are set up to become a really strong nation. Some would even say a superpower. But we'll see how this turns out over the next decade or two. I hope you did learn something new that you didn't know before this video. Maybe considering checking out this video on the screen right here. Also, be sure to drop me a comment on what you think about this, economic growth output for India. I'd appreciate it if you could leave a like and maybe consider subscribing for more information just like this.